Hi everybody and welcome back to the Office Management Group's YouTube channel. If you are new here, please don't forget to hit that all-important subscribe button, click the bell icon to stay updated with our latest videos. Today we're going to be diving into an essential topic for hiring managers, top tips for interviewing candidates who are going for an office management position. Let's get started. An office manager, as you probably know by now, especially if you've seen any of our other content, plays a really crucial role in businesses. They ensure the smooth operation for your workplace. So here are my top tips and questions that you can ask to help you find the perfect office management candidate. The first is experience with managing offices. First, let's focus on their experience in this area. Ask questions like, can you describe your previous experience managing an office environment? What specific tasks were you responsible for in your last role or in your most recent role? What is the most important aspect of office management in your view and why? These questions can really help you to gauge their direct experience and responsibilities in their most recent positions under office management or workplace management, and you can apply any of those experiences to what you're looking for within your role. Health and safety. This experience will likely be paramount. If this is something that your successful candidate will be responsible for, it's really important that you consider asking, how do you ensure compliance with health and safety regulations in the workplace? Can you give an example of a health and safety issue that you resolved? Have you completed any risk assessments or DSEs in the past, display screen equipment assessments in the past? And how comfortable are you at doing either or both of these tasks? In terms of facilities management, what is your experience with maintenance and life safety system management, such as smoke heads, fire alarms, emergency lighting systems, Legionnaires, and so on? These questions will help to reveal their knowledge and proactive approach to maintaining a safe working environment on behalf of your business. As I say, if health and safety does fall in their remit of responsibility in the role that you are hiring for. The impact on culture and workplace. Office managers can significantly influence workplace culture since they are one of the only few roles, typically in organisations, who interact with every individual within the organisation and often people outside of the organisation too. Here are some questions that you can ask if culture is important to you for this role. How have you contributed towards workplace culture within your previous or current roles? What strategies do you use to boost company-wide morale and productivity? What feedback have you had to date in your career on your impact in this area of your role? And can you share any initiatives that you have implemented or been part of around company culture or DEI, diversity, equality and inclusion more specifically? Understanding their impact on culture and where they see their role fitting in around this responsibility will really help you to see if they're a good fit for your team. Typical day. Next, it's really important to understand how they manage their day-to-day tasks. There are so many hats and responsibilities that office managers wear, and you need to be able to see and proactively ask them at interview stages how they manage that workload, how they prioritize, and how they ensure that they are keeping on top of all the different disciplines that they will look after. So ask questions like, can you walk me through a typical day in your last role as an office manager? How do you prioritize your tasks and manage your time effectively? And how do you structure your day generally in these roles? Talk me through what that day looks like from the moment you get in to the moment you leave and how you prepare ahead for the next day. This again will provide insight into their organizational and time management skills. Speaking of skills, we're going to move on to top skills next. And I always think this is really important to ask in interviews. Sometimes when I have been conducting interviews for my own roles or on behalf of clients, I ask people about their top 3 skills. And some people say, oh, that's a new question. I think we should always be asking about people's skills and more so how they apply them and how it supports them doing their job more effectively in the roles that they're doing. So identifying their key skills is really crucial. And you can consider asking questions such as, what do you consider to be the most important skills for an office manager or office management professional? How have you developed these skills in your own career? And are there any areas for development that you've identified over time or that come up in your appraisals frequently, and how are you addressing those? Their answers will really help you and highlight their strengths and areas of expertise, as well as give some assurity on the fact that everybody has development and they know what their areas are and that they're working on them. And then next, we're going to go on to a competency-based question or task, potentially, if you want to go down that route, to really evaluate their problem-solving abilities, something that's very, very important in terms of skills and to identify at these interview stages. For example, you can ask them to describe a time when they had to deal with a difficult situation at work. How did they handle that and what was the outcome? And then here's a scenario. So you may come up with a scenario that you know typically happens or has happened in your office. And here's an example of ours. You have an important event to set up from midday. The toilets are leaking, which are the closest ones to the event space, and your catering company has just let you down. It's only 10 a.m. in the morning. How would you address all of these issues? In what order and what steps would you take? Next, you can ask them to tell you about a time when they organised something from start to finish. It could be a work-related task or project, or something perhaps that's personal, like a holiday. I would ask them to talk you through each of the steps that they took to get to that end goal. And this is something I have used since I was 20 years old and interviewing and managing around 19 branch secretaries for an estate agents. And some people really struggle at this point, but if I take them through, for example, a holiday, for anyone who perhaps is interviewing for a role or conducting interviews, I would expect them to say, okay, so we planned a holiday. I decided on where I wanted to go, did some research and looked at the different opportunities and places available. Did we want winter sun? Did we want skiing and that kind of thing? You know, were we doing city breaks and so on? And then we narrowed that down to one or two places. We looked at prices. We compared on comparison websites versus booking directly. And when we decided on where we wanted to go, we booked it. Then we planned how we were going to get to the airport. So looked at comparing driving and parking costs versus getting a car, like a taxi or a car to take us. Then they can talk about the list that they made to help them pack, so all the different things that they would need to remember on there, from toothbrush and toothpaste to swimming suits and beach towels and whatever else it might be. And then making sure that obviously when they were getting there on the day, that they had their passports and they double checked that they had plenty of time to get to the airport. They had foreign currency, foreign exchange, all these different things. And it's a really easy question that someone, especially if you give them that holiday scenario, can talk about. So that is the level of detail that you want someone to talk you through with that kind of question. And this approach can really help to assess their critical thinking and their practical skills. My other top tip is to ensure that you don't just meet these people virtually. If you are hiring for an office manager, get them to your office, get them in there to see it, walk them round and see how they're observing things as you walk them round and asking questions. And you ask them questions as well. What do you think about this? What would you do about that, etc. See how they absorb all that and take it all in. You'll get a much better sense of them once you've done this and whether they are the right candidate for you. Those are my top tips for interviewing for an office manager candidate. Remember, the right questions can really help you to uncover the best person for the job. If you did find this video helpful, please remember to give it a thumbs up, share it with others, and don't forget to subscribe for more insightful content. Thank you for watching and good luck with conducting those interviews.